Okay, so good morning all, and welcome to the lecture of 8085 interfacing for SEM 5, and we are working on the syllabus which is concerned with RTM in Nagpur University. Myself, Dr. N.D. Meshram, Head and Associate Professor, Department of Electronics, Srimati Radhas Mohta College of Science, and on that note, I welcome you all in this lecture. Today, we are going to understand what is interfacing and what is the need of interfacing and how many types of interfacing are there. So to begin with, what is actually interfacing is? Interfacing is actually the to connect the outside world, the outside devices with the microprocessor. I have this microprocessor kit, and I can show you that the 8085 is here. So this IC is called as the 8085 microprocessor chip, where it is, I guess, it is visible to you. So when we will be having this uh, classes, offline classes, you will be able to hold this microprocessor kit. So this is that IC 8085. And along with this IC, you'll be able to see there are a lot more ICs over there which are connected. So this type of say the connections to which has been controlled by this microprocessor is called as the interfacing, right? So we are having a display over here, and this display also requires some sort of ICs to be sort of ICs to be controlled to control this seven segment displays. Now, and the microcontroller is a microprocessor is the one who is going to control those ICs, and accordingly will be having those numbers on this seven segment display. So this is again a interfacing. There is a memory unit over here, which we call it as a EEPROM, in which we have already written the basic programs. We have loaded those programs. Nowadays we call it as an installation of programs in our say mobile phones. So we download the apps and then we install those. So for that we have already installed some of the programs over here. As soon as you start this kit, you switch on this kit, you'll be able to see it appears spec 85, which implies that it has say run all the programs inside it, which are the basic programs. It has checked all the devices which are working or not working, and then it is showing you that spec 85, which means that the microprocessor is ready to work, is ready to program, right? As far as our computers are concerned, PCs are concerned, whenever you switch on a PC, it runs all the programs, all it checks all the say interfacing devices like output devices like output and input devices like keyboard, mouse, printers, and scanners, and then it comes to a window which shows that the microprocessor, the personal computer, the PC is ready for the use. Then we go to a particular app, say Windows or say Word file or say Excel file, and then we go on working on that. What it does, it actually checks all those programs which are being installed in the microprocessor over there, and then it comes to a stable state that is called as the window of that screen, right? So accordingly, in microprocessor 8085, we come to the step that is called as spec 85, right? So spec 85 actually determines the the thing that all the accessories are working properly. So this microprocessor is going to control all those things. Even we are having the keyboard, right? So this keyboard is also controlled by some of the ICs, and this is interfaced with the microprocessor itself 8085. So it all comes under the interfacing section of it. And now this is the need of interfacing. Only the microprocessor can't do other jobs because it has to be used by a layman or say a person who knows the knowledge of that. But inside the IC, what is happening, that a microprocessor programmer also doesn't know. So what happens? We require some things which shows that the microprocessor is working properly. Even if you run a program, you want to see the result, whether the result is accurate or not, whether the result which we are expecting is coming or not. So for that, we have to again go back to the particular location and we have to check whether the output is proper or not. So what we are doing, we are running a program, and after that we are checking that whether it is running, whether it is working or not. Similarly, for that we require this display, we require these keyboards to enter all those data, to enter a program, and then this is to be interfaced with the microprocessor, right? There is one more IC which is here, which is called as the 8255, that is PPI, Programmable Peripheral Interface. We will be working on that. We'll be listening to that particular portion. This is in your syllabus, and we'll be generating this control word also. Accordingly, this PPI, Programmable Peripheral Interface 8255 IC, is the basic, is the only IC which can be interfaced to the outside world. So if you are able to say this connections, so this is connected to the outside world, to the other devices, say for the printer, or say to a LED or a buzzer. We can connect this to a buzzer, we can connect this to a LED, and we can switch on or off a LED by using this 8255. We have to program that 85. This is the basic of any of the devices, or any of the microprocessor, or any of the electronics where we are expecting to have the application of electronics. And for that, we require some data to be input to the microprocessor. Similarly, some of the data is expected to be given to the output devices, to the printers, so that we can have the actual result of what we have done in the programs. I guess you have understood what is the interfacing, right? Interfacing is actually the connection of the output devices with the microprocessor, right? And this display here is supposed to be the output device, where we are able to see in which memory it is going to connect, in which load, and what are the results. So this is displaying the output, or say the input, while we are programming it. One thing. The other one is the keyboard. This is the input device. This is going to give the input to the microprocessor, right? So this is the input device. So what we are doing, we are inputting and outputting data from the microprocessor, and this particular connections, this particular interfacing, particular say devices are to be interfaced with the microprocessor, and this is the basic need of the interfacing as such. Now, how many types of interfacing are there, right? So when I told you that the one must be the input and the other must be the output. So we are having basic two devices which can be connected to the microprocessor. The one is called as the input devices, the other is called as the output devices. From here, we can connect the input devices as well as the output devices. Some of the input devices are connected over here itself. Some of the output devices are connected over here itself. In other requirements, in the other applications, at some times we require that we need to print something. We need to print the output of the data. So for that, we have to use this ports, right? We have to use this 8255 IC, through which we are able to communicate with the other devices, to the printers, to the plotter, or say to any of the devices where we require some output to come, where we require that the microprocessor should show you the output, right? In that case, buzzer is also can be used as the output device. In that case, LEDs can be used for that. So the LED can switch it off or on accordingly, as per the requirements of that, right? So this is the basic structure of the microprocessor, and this is actually called as the 8085 kit. Here, this particular IC is only the 8085 microprocessor, which does not have anything inside it before it switches on, right? As soon as it is switched on, the plug is put and then the switch is made on. That time, the IC, the EEPROM gives all the programming to this, and then it starts programming and it runs all the program. But other than that, it doesn't have anything inside it before starting switching on the microprocessor. I guess you have understood that. So this memory is also to be interfaced. So the data which is to be stored is given in the memory. The primary programs which are already installed, which are already there, which are required to show whether the keyboard is working, whether the displays are working properly or not, whether the crystal is working properly or not, or whether all the other peripheral devices which are connected over here are working properly or not, are being stored in this memory, right? So this is to be interfaced with the microprocessor, right? So this is everything is done inside this microprocessor kit. I guess you have understood that. And then uh, yes, of course. Now, how many types of say programming? Oh, sorry, interfacing are there? So there are basically two types of interfacing. I'm just giving you the details of that. I expect from your side that you should write it on. There are two types of interfacing. The first one is the digital interfacing, and the other one is the non-digital interfacing. Digital interfacing, which includes the data itself, is digital, right? So we don't need to convert it, है ना? So हमारे पास एक data है which is already in digital form, and that is to begin. For example, if I just press this key, if I press this key, so as soon as this key is pressed, automatically it is going to generate a 8-bit data as per this requirement, right, of the coded by this switch. So this particular 8-bit is originally itself in the digital form, right? So this is called as the digital interfacing, and some of them is called as non-digital interfacing. Now, in the non-digital interfacing, what we require is the data is in the data is in analog form, right? Now, this analog data is to be converted into digital first, and then only we can give it to the microprocessor for further processing. So, there are two types of interfacing. The one is called as the digital interfacing, and the other one is called as, say, the non-digital interfacing, or say the analog interfacing. Now, in digital interfacing itself, we are having five types of say five types of interfacing, in which the first one is called as level shifting buffering, right? So the um digital data which is denoting 0 or 1, so that particular um, data or that particular voltage is to be properly managed, and that is called as the level shifting buffering, right? Then there is one more that is called as bus interconnection. So this digital interfacing involves these types of requirements over there. So bus interconnection, so bus means the microprocessor is having a 8-bit bus and 16-bit address bus, right? Now this is to be interfaced, so that involves the bus interfacing with the other devices. So when I put a key, when I press a key, it is going to generate a 8-bit of data, 8-bit of word accordingly. And this 8-bit of data is to be channelized, is to be communicated to the microprocessor through wires, through a bus, right? So we call it as a 8-bit bus or 8-bit wires. So we are having 8 wires, right? And these 8 wires are responsible to give this 8-bit data generated by the keyboard IC or keyboard to the microprocessor. And in the microprocessor, we are having one unit which is called as control, and say that control unit, which is going to decode that particular data, and uh, decode that particular data, and then accordingly it will give us the results, right? So that particular form of digitally, it is only a digital data, but it is to be given to the microprocessor through those 8-bit 8 line or 8-bit wires, particularly called as the bus. That particular segment is called as the bus interconnections. The third one is serial to parallel. Now you might be remembering that we are having on the top of the block diagram, we are having a serial input data and serial output data, SID and COD. SID and SOD, serial input data and serial output data, which implies that the data might be 8-bit, but it is to be converted serially. So one by one, the data is going to be given to the output devices, or it might be input to the microprocessor through that one by one, and then it is again converted to serial to parallel, right? So there is serial to parallel conversion also. There is another one that is called as parallel to serial conversion. So it might be that the data is given 8-bit parallel, and it is to be converted into serial back again by the output device or the microprocessor at the same time, or the microprocessor kit as well. So this is the fourth that we are having, and the fifth, that is the most important, is the synchronization. Now, without synchronization, we are not able to communicate with any of the devices. Synchronization means as soon as some output device requires some data, right? At the same time, the microprocessor should also provide the data to it, right? So that particular timing is called as the synchronization. Means output device is requiring some data, but a microprocessor at that particular moment is not able to give that data. There is no synchronization between them. So this synchronization term is very essential in the field of electronics as well, or in the field of digital electronics, because everything which is working on that is working on the cycles, right? So we are working on clock pulses at a very high frequency. So the synchronization is the crux of all those things, I guess. So I guess you have understood this digital interfacing. So this digital interfacing involves, the first one is level shifting buffering, that is the voltage level of the high and low pulses, 0 and plus 5 volt. The second one is the bus interconnection, that is the input given to the bus. Yeah. So the digital interfacing, which involves, the first one is the level shifting buffering, means the voltages should be at the same level, means 0 for one microprocessor should be similar to the 0 voltage for the output device or input devices. Similarly, high, which is supposed to be plus 5 volt, should be same, say at the same voltage with respect to the other output devices, and the ground should be made common. So accordingly, with respect to what, how many voltage that is having, that is called as the level shifting buffering. So first one. Second one is the bus interconnection, that is the output or the input which is supposed to be given to the microprocessor, or should be output to the other devices, should be given through a bus, 8-bit parallel bus, or 8-bit parallel lines, 8-bit parallel wires, right? That particular wires, or bunch of wires, 8-bit or 16-bit, is termed as a bus in microprocessor, in electronics, right? So we call them as a bus. So this bus interconnection is very essential. The third one is serial to parallel conversion. Sometimes the data is in serial form, so the data is to be converted in parallel before it is given to the microprocessor, because the microprocessor does not understand serial data, it understands parallel data. So the data is to be given parallelly, right? So it is to be given parallelly over there, so that it can process the data. So it requires the data 8-bit parallel, 8-bit word, 8-bit 8-bit 1 byte data, right, for decoding or for processing. So it will require a parallel data. So we require serial to parallel conversion. Similarly, we require another one, parallel to serial conversion, to give to the output devices. Sometimes we don't have this parallel type of interfacing. We require a serial base, like you attach a USB to it. So USB is called as universal synchronous. Sorry. So there the data is given serially, and at the end we have to convert that serial data into parallel for, say, processing or for decoding other things. So we require both serial to parallel conversion as well as parallel to serial conversion. And lastly, we require the most important, that is the synchronization. Synchronization, which involves the synchronization between the clock pulses, the synchronization between the timing of both the devices. Both the devices should work at the same time. When we attach output device, a printer or a mouse or a keyboard, to a microprocessor, if the microprocessor should acknowledge that it has been connected. Whenever the microprocessor is giving some data to the output devices or the printer to print, then it should communicate with that, right? So this is to be checked. Yeah. So how we are going to plan this? So these are called as the digital interfacing, right? And now in the non-digital interface, as I told you, non-digital interfacing is nothing but the analog interfacing. Analog means where the data is supposed to be analog voltage. Now, in this case, what we are expecting, we are expecting that some of the physical data is to be given to the microprocessor. Physical data. Let us assume that we need to give a temperature of a day, so right from in the morning to in the night at 12 o'clock or in the morning again. So we are having a fluctuation of or variation of temperature from morning to evening or from evening to morning again. So we have data, right? Now for that, this is called as analog data. Now we have to use a transducer, which is actually a temperature sensor, as like LM35 sensor IC. So if you put it in a system, in a temperature say system where we are having a variation, so this data is going to give you, this temperature sensor is going to give you analog voltages, right? Say from 0 to 5 volts. Now what is the next? Might be the data is very is the signal is having very low, so we have to amplify this. So we are having an amplifier, then we need to process it, right? So we have to compare, we have to check whether the exact data is not, so or we have to say correlate with that particular uh, the voltage to a particular temperature. So we need to uh, say adjust accordingly, calibrate accordingly, right? So this particular voltage is supposed to be the particular temperature. So this is how we are going to convert. So we have to use a signal conditioning block out there. So this is the third thing, and the last one, which is the most important, is the analog to digital converter, because the microprocessor does not understand analog signals. It only understands digital. So whatever voltage you are supposed to give, that particular voltage is supposed to be converted into its equivalent digital form, 8-bit digital form, 8-bit, because the microprocessor is a 8-bit microprocessor. We call this as a 8-bit microprocessor, right? So for to communication for input or output devices, we require a 8-bit data. Now, since we are using the analog transducer over there, so that analog data or the analog voltage is to be converted to its equivalent digital form or digital equivalent of that particular voltage. So that is called as the analog to digital converter. This is what we have already studied in your last semesters, right? So non-digital interfacing requires or involves these things. The first is the transducer selection, which transducer you are going to use. Second one is the amplifier design, which amplifier you need to require, how much amplification you want in the voltage. The third one is the signal conditioning, if you want to calibrate that particular voltage to a particular temperature or say pressure or say other things. So accordingly, we'll have to calibrate that particular voltage or data in the format. So that particular is called as signal conditioning. And the last one is that particular voltage is to be converted into digital form, so that the microprocessor should understand that, right? So you have understood what are the types of interfacing. The first one is the digital interfacing. The second one is the non-digital interfacing. The digital interfacing involves what are the level shifting buffer. The second one is the bus interconnections. The third one is serial to parallel interface. Fourth one is parallel to serial conversion, and the fifth one is synchronization. So see, these five things are being involved in digital interfacing. The next one is non-digital interfacing, in which we require the transducer selection. The second one is the amplifier design. The third one is signal conditioning, and the fourth one is having the analog to digital converter, because they require the output to be converted to into digital form. Unless or until it is converted in digital form, it won't be we won't be able to communicate with the microprocessor. So these are the requirements of interfacing. Now, what is the advantages of having interfacing? Right. So this is the need of interfacing, and what are the advantages? So interfacing enables the microprocessor to handle the large number of input and output tasks. Right. So this is the advantage. So a microprocessor can be interfaced or can be used to say communicate, as well as to make them work, the input output and devices. So it can handle all those input and output devices. It can handle many devices, right, in at a time. So you can switch on our your household appliances by using microprocessor. You can switch on or off, say some data, or you can input the data, physical data parameters over there, and then you can process those data. These are the other input and output devices which the microprocessor is expected to handle, right? So at a time, many input output devices can be handled by the microprocessor. The second one is the size of the system is reduced. The system, that the particular instrumentation system, the size of that particular system is being reduced, because we are maximum times we are going to use the LSI technique. LSI technique means large scale integration, right? So these are available already over there in chips. So we can use a particular IC for that particular say particular work, and accordingly we can use that. So that can be handled by using this microprocessor. And devices of different timing, format, and electrical characteristics can effectively communicate. So we can use those other devices which are having the timing, different timings, and different format, even different characteristics in electrical parameters, that can be handled by this microprocessor. Data transfer is made possible without changing much of the circuitry, right? So data can be say communicated without much disturbances in the basic circuitry of the system, right, for the microprocessor. So these are the advantages. And last is the interfacing is comparatively cheaper, right? So that is the main work of this interfacing. It should be low cost, right? So these are the five advantages of interfacing. There are some disadvantages also. Different interfacing circuits are required depending on the task to be accomplished. Now, other than this microprocessor kit, will be requiring the other circuits also, right? So we are not able to have the same microprocessor kit used for a particular work. Say for example, if I say that we are going to communicate with a temperature instrumentation system, so we require temperature sensor, we require amplifiers, we require signal conditioning, we require analog to digital converter. This whole circuitry is being required other than the microprocessor kit. So this is the drawback of that. That can be implemented inside it, and these drawbacks are being say rectified by using the microcontrollers. So microcontrollers are there, which we are going to study in the next academic session, that is SEM 6. And analog quantities require additional circuitry to convert them into digital to interface with micro. As I told you, that we require some analog to digital converter also, if we are using the analog devices to be connected to this microprocessor. And the last one is, if the characteristics of input output devices are uncertain, then it becomes difficult to interface with the microprocessor. If the say if the characteristics of input output devices, now characteristics means the voltage level, or say the ground level, or say the timing cycle, these characteristics, if they are uncertain, if they are different from the microprocessor which we are working, if the microprocessor is working on a 3.3 megahertz clock pulse, and the circuitry is not able to work at that particular frequency, then it is very difficult to communicate with these two devices. So to connect these devices, we require that both the devices can work at this. At the same time, some of the amplifiers also don't work at this high frequency. So I guess this is over for all. I guess you have understood. We will be will be studying about 8255 PPI in the next class, right? So if you have any queries, you can ask me on this, the interfacing. I am repeating you for again. Interfacing is actually communicating fruitfully with the input output devices and the microprocessor, whether it is the input data or the output data. Accordingly, this particular connection between the output devices and the microprocessors are called as interfacing. In that, on that note, we have understood how to communicate a keyboard with the microprocessor, how to communicate a 7 segment display, which is supposed to be the output device in 8085 with the microprocessor. These all are connected with that. So that particular are called as the interfacing, right? I hope you have understood this, and I have told you how many types of interfacing are there, and what are the things which are involved in that particular type. So we are having two types of interfacing: the digital interfacing, which involves uh, the digital interfacing, which involves the level shifting buffering. The second one is the bus connections. The third one is serial to parallel. Fourth one is parallel to serial, and fifth one is the synchronization. The second type of interfacing is the non-digital interfacing. That is the analog interfacing, which requires the selection of a transducer, then the amplifier design, then signal conditioning, and the fourth one is the most important, that is analog to digital converter. And also, I have told you about the advantages of interfacing and disadvantages of interfacing. I guess uh, this will be enough for today. So we'll be again meeting you on the next class, hopefully tomorrow at the same time, and we'll be discussing the 8255 PPI IC, programmable peripheral interface, and the other topic, that is direct memory access, that we'll be covering in the next class. So that might complete our syllabus of theory, and we are expecting the offline classes to start soon, right? So this is over for today. I guess you have understood. If you have any questions, you can put it on comment box. Even you can put it on the chat box or on our WhatsApp group. By now, let me conclude formally. Thank you very much for joining this class, and please go through my YouTube channel and view the other videos, which are very essential for 8085 as well, programming as well. So we have almost completed the programming, and we'll be continuing the interfacing section in the next class. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. See you soon, and take care. Stay home, stay safe. Bye. Good day.